9:15 here on Breakfast Television. We are talking about Uber Eats, and according to the delivery company, Canadians are tipping delivery drivers a lot more during this pandemic. Our Greg Harper has been following this story all morning, and Greg, this is a nice news story, I think you would say.
Yeah, it's nice to see that a lot of Canadians are being quite generous during what's a very challenging time for many Canadians as well. So we are talking about Uber Eats here, Mary, because Uber Eats says Canadians have been quite generous, and the company has released a top 10 list of the most generous Canadian cities right now as far as tipping goes. Here's a look. We've narrowed it down to the top 5. Vancouver outside of the top 5, by the way. Vancouver ranks 7th. Victoria, number 2. Number 1. Quebec City. So Uber Eats says despite these challenging times right now, Canadians are being more generous than ever, with the average tip on orders increasing by more than 55% since early March when the pandemic began. The bigger tips are taking place on Fridays and Saturdays at dinner time between 5 and 6 p.m. This is where drivers are being paid the most.
We tip 15% on deliveries. Yeah. That's what I've always done. So I do a little bit more when I go to in-person places these days, but like 20%.
We always tip, just the way we are. We know those people are working really hard, so we want to make sure that they're getting paid too. So we usually tip 20% overall, so we calculate that and make sure it's there. So
I understand the people that deliver needs to make money, so it's a tough situation for everybody. So tipping, of course, the person that works there doesn't make that much, so they should be tipped, 100%.
So it's good to see that drivers are being tipped. However, there has been some criticism over these food delivery companies. Vancouver Mayor Kennedy Stewart has been quite outspoken. And the issue for many is the commission that restaurants are paying, especially the restaurants that continue to struggle during the pandemic. And you too, I was looking back at some of my orders through Skip the Dishes. And there was one time we had some Chinese food, had some friends over. The delivery fee was $2.99. We tipped the driver $6.75.
Yeah,
so that's pretty good.
I've been doing that too, Greg. I know we've got pizza during the pandemic, and I've tipped on top of the delivery charge. I've even been tipping when I go in to pick something up for takeout, just to support the restaurants locally, because they're all having such a tough time. So even though I haven't been getting like in-dining service or anything like that, just giving them a little extra helps a lot.
What's interesting here is how many is it just status quo? I mean, tipping, that's what we do. And how many are actually tipping more because of the time we're in? A lot of Canadians are doing that. Mary?
Yeah, a lot of Canadians are generous, and now you have me thinking about Chinese food, Greg. That's going to be a long time before that leaves my mind. Thank you so much. 9:18 here on Breakfast Television. We'll send it over to Russ the Kate now. And Russ, I don't know how often you order in, but I know that you are a really good cook.
Well, I'm a decent cook, yeah, but we have been ordering in, and it's funny because, you know, you got to tip your servers, your drivers, but in a self-serving way. I got an inside tip for you, if you don't mind the pun. What we do is we over-tip on the app, so the driver sees that before they bring your food. It's amazing. You look at your app, and it's like, oh, your food will be here in 45 minutes. A couple minutes later, 17 minutes, and that food shows up first. So that's a way to really reward those drivers ahead of time. Let them know how much you appreciate that they're out there working hard for you.